Welcome to the complete guide to in-hand showing for beginners. In this video, I will cover everything that you need to know to start your journey in-hand showing, whether this is your first year out in-hand showing or you have done it previously and you want some hints and tips. This is the video for you. I'm going to go through completely how to find shows, what clothes to wear, what tack to wear, what to expect on show day, how a show is performed, and some hints and tips that will help you gain better results. So let's first go through who I am and how I can help you in the in-hand show ring. I'm Karen, an over 40-year-old equestrian from the UK, and I have been showing horses now for over 20 years. I first started showing horses in hand all those years ago, and although I have 4 well-sectioned Ds now, I've shown all different types of breeds over the years, so this video will cover the in-hand showing for any breed of horse. Over the years, we have been lucky enough to qualify and compete at some amazing shows, ranging from all the way from grassroots, winning their championships, qualifying for the likes of Chiltern and Thames, Stars, Equifest, Sunshine Tours, ESUK, Northern Lights, and then going on, we've won Equifest, we won Sunshine Tours, their champion and overall supreme champion. Lewis, my son, has qualified and competed at Your Horse Live twice now in the in-hand section. Won various Welsh Cob shows, and I got our horse Gambler to be a Welsh Pony and Cob Society bronze medal winner. So what is in-hand showing? In-hand showing is where you can show off your horse without the stress of riding. It's so beneficial for young horses to get them out and about to see a show ring atmosphere. It's also so good for the older horses that have maybe retired from the ridden showing, but you still want to get them out and do something with them. And it's also so beneficial for if you've bought a new horse, you're riding it at home, but you're a bit nervous to ride it at a show to see how they behave and everything. It's nice to get them out in-hand showing so that they can see the show atmosphere and you can create that bond with your horse on the ground in a different environment to being at home. There are showing classes for every breed and age of horse in the in-hand showing. In this video, we are going to go through the unaffiliated, the lowest level of in-hand showing you can do. It's usually classed as unaffiliated showing or riding club shows. If you want me to do another video on how to qualify for the likes of Equifest, Sunshine Tours, ESUK, I can do that in a separate video. But we are today just going through the basic first level in-hand showing. So this video is for beginner in-hand showing or people that may have been to a few shows but would like to find some more information about it. So the first things first, how do you find these shows? If you've never done it before, you're not going to have that experience and knowledge on how to find a show. So the best thing nowadays to find these shows is actually Facebook, a social media site like that. If you Hertfordshire horse riders, look through comments before someone might be promoting a show, or if you leave a post on there asking for local shows in the area, someone will reply and tell you about up and coming shows. When you go to that first show, local riding club shows usually hold 4 or 5 shows a year. They'll have a schedule, a notice board at the show where there'll be further dates. Usually at their secretary's tent, when you get there will be schedules for other shows that you can go to as well. So I do find Facebook is the best place to find things. You can type in the likes of Herts, Beds and Bucks show events, Cambridgeshire horse riders, and there's lots of things being promoted on there. I find it's easier nowadays because of social media to find the shows. There is also, if you go to your local tack shop, there will usually be a notice board somewhere where the shows put up an advert promoting their show dates. It's really good to go to tack shops and ask them for their knowledge on what shows are coming up. As I say, you want the unaffiliated shows or riding club shows to begin with. So you found a show to go to. What do you do now? Ideally, you want to leave some time to prepare for the show. You could find a show for this weekend, drag your horse out and take it to the show just for experience. At this level, that is absolutely fine. But ideally, you would like some time to prepare your horse to the best of your ability to show off your horse to their best of their ability. So I like to give it a few weeks so you can tidy them up, practice everything so that you are going to the show with some knowledge on what you're doing and making sure you are turned out correctly. In-hand showing is a lot about presentation. Take time in how you are presenting your horse and make sure you are presenting them correctly. When I first started in-hand showing 20 odd years ago, I had a Welsh Section D mare back then, but I had never done in-hand showing. My other half's family is predominantly driving people. So even for the driving, they plat the Welsh Ds up. So I went to an in-hand show with my Welsh D mare platted up, which is wrong. I went out there without having done any homework on how she should have been presented. And of course I came last. I had a good day. I had fun showing her, but I was not turned out correctly. So it showed within the results. You are paying the same money to do this class as everyone else. So take your time to present your horse correct for their breed so you don't waste the money like I did. As I say, it is all about the preparation, turning your horse out correctly, wearing the correct tack, wearing the correct clothes yourself. So what do we do? How do we do it? First off, we're going to talk mainly about the horse. So it all depends on your breed of horse to how you turn them out. Most horses will need their beard trimmed to make their face more defined. I'll show you Gambler because we haven't trimmed his face, and then we go out and we see Willow because I have trimmed his face. So you can see the difference on how it looks and how it creates a better picture. So this is Gambler. We have not given him a makeover yet, ready for the show ring. So you can see under his jawline, he's got all these wispy hairs. This is what we call his beard. That all should be trimmed off for the show ring. We do not touch their long eyelashes or their whiskers. It is only this hair under the chin, under the jawline, that comes off. So this is Willow. He has been trimmed up for the shows. He's filthy dirty because he's actually out in the field. But you can see I've trimmed all that loose hair off underneath his chin, so where his face is all trimmed up, it just gives that better overall look. All horses will have their jawline trimmed up, with the exception of traditional cobs. Some people trim their jawlines, some people don't. That is completely personal preference on that breed, on whether you trim them up or not. That is their face. Then we're going to go on to their mane. The likes of hunters and show ponies, partbreds, all need their manes pulling and plaiting rolled up into little balls. I do have a video on the channel somewhere on how to braid a horse. So that's hunters, show ponies, partbreds should be plaited. Riding club horses, they should be plaited. The ones that are not plaited are your mountain and moorlands, like the Welsh Section Ds, the Connemara's, New Forest, Fells, Dales, that sort of thing. Their manes are left natural. But the Welsh Section Ds, they have their mane pulled to look more natural, but we don't plait them. The best way to get an idea on whether your horse should be plaited, pulled or not will be to go through like events, photographies, classes that have been previous shows. You can go through the photos on there. They're usually put out to what classes are what. So if you've got, say, a Connemara youngster, you don't plait a Connemara, but you could go in the photos events and see there how the horse has been turned out, so you can turn it out the same as that. Any horse under 3 years old should not be body clipped. The mountain and moorlands should also not be body clipped, but the likes of traditional sometimes do it, hunters, show ponies, they can be clipped all year round. So again, it's personal preference on whether you do that. And then tails. Traditional cobs like to see them a lot longer. Welsh Section Ds like to see them trimmed into a V. If you plait the mane, usually you will either plait the tail or clip it and thin it out. So it does vary on what breed you have to what you do with their mane and tails. I cannot go through what to do with every single breed in this video. It will make it far too long. But the general rule is traditionals, you don't touch their manes or tails. Welsh Section Ds, you pull their mane but leave it free flowing and you trim their tails to a V. Show hunters, partbreds, you pull their mane, plait their mane and you trim up their tails so it looks like it's been pulled, or you plait their tails. Let's then talk about tack. What tack do you need for in-hand showing? Generally, it's an in-hand bridle, a ridden show bridle or a halter. That is your 3 options depending on how old your horse is, what breed they are and what sex they are. So if you have a youngster, a youngster is 3 years old and under. Some of these horses are not bitted, so you can take them in a halter, which is just a white halter over their head that has no bit with a lead chain. If you have a stallion, a colt, Some shows will require them to have a bit in their mouth, making them need then an in-hand bridle. Check the show rules. Some unaffiliated local club shows do not allow stallions. So if they allow them, then you will need to be bitted. Some shows require them to have their stallion license. So it is, if you have a stallion or a colt, check the rules. As I say, some shows won't allow it. The Welsh sections A, B, C's and D's, mares, fillies, geldings can all be shown in the white halter. As I say, if you have a stallion, they have to go in a bridle. But it's more traditionally seen that the Welsh breeds, mares and geldings, are in a halter. But if your horse is strong, you'll be better off putting it in a bridle with an in-hand bridle with a bit in its mouth. Gambler, our horse, is very strong. He's a gelding, so technically he can go in a halter, but he's too strong. So we put an in-hand bridle on him. It will not affect your results. You are to be safe. It will affect your results if you put a halter on a stallion, because that is wrong. That's a no-go. Putting a bridle on Gambler because he's too strong will not be frowned upon. Traditional cobs are usually shown in halters as well, and the likes of hunters and show ponies are usually shown in a riding bridle with a bit in. Other breeds, part breds, and breeds like that can be just shown in an in-hand bridle. And let's talk a bit more about what you are to wear as a handler. If you are under 14 years old, most unaffiliated shows will require you to wear a hard hat. This is purely for your safety. Any age can wear a hard hat. You will not be marked down for wearing a hard hat, regardless of your age. So it's a hat, and then hairnet if you've got long hair. Just keep it nice and tidy. Minimal makeup and no jewellery. No jewellery should be in the show ring at all. If you have a nose piercing or anything, you are to remove it, or back to school days, put a plaster on it. So your outfit for the in-hand showing, like the Welsh Days, traditional cobs, it'll be a tweed jacket or tweed waistcoat, but male handlers can wear a shirt and tie. And then, like Lewis, my son, he wears a suit. Male handlers usually are more prone to wearing suit and show jacket. Females in the in-hand will have a tweed showing jacket or a tweed waistcoat with shirt and tie. And on the bottom half for the in-hand showing, you do not want to wear jodhpurs. That is more for the ridden showing. In-hand showing, you should wear some like chinos, something like that, not jeans, not leggings, something classy looking. You can find them in local shops in town. You don't need to buy equestrian style trousers for this. I usually go to the likes of Primark or Marks and Spencer's to get some trousers. The colour of your trousers doesn't really matter. You can go as bold as you want. Pink, green, yellow. Colour doesn't matter, but you want to be an opposite colour to your horse's legs. Gambler, he's a black horse, so if I was to show him in hand, I don't want to wear black trousers because it just makes a funny picture for the judge to watch you going running round. So if I was to show Gambler black legs with white socks, I'd choose something like a red, a burgundy, a green, so I don't match him. Donut, he's chestnut, so I wouldn't wear brown trousers. Again, I'd wear a colour trousers. We've got Willow, who's Palomino with white socks. I wouldn't wear light coloured trousers with him. I'd potentially go more towards the black. So we've got contrasting colours on their legs. You should always wear gloves and you should always carry a whip. Regardless of whether you need to use the whip or not, you should carry it to finish your overall look in the show ring. If this is your first year showing horses, don't go over the top spending loads of money on stuff. You can do this as cheaply as you want. A good, normal, everyday bridle that's had a good clean is really all you need if that is all you've got and all your budget allows. Don't go spending unnecessary money on the first year. You might decide you really don't like in-hand showing and never do it again. So it is better to use what you've got to begin with, to know that this is something you want to pursue before you spend big money on it. Now you know how to find the shows, what clothes you need to wear, what tack your horse needs. We're going to go back to the preparation needed before show day. You need to do your homework, ideally, beforehand to show your horse the best of its ability on show day. They need to know how to trot up. Otherwise, at a show, if your horse does not trot up in front of the judge, it can be embarrassing for yourself, and you don't want that. You want to go out knowing that your horse should trot up correctly, and so you can show them off as best as you can. So Lewis is just getting Gambler out. We're going to put his bridle on, and I will run through how to show your horse, what to do on show day, what is expected in the show ring. So hopefully you can have a feel on knowing what to expect on the day and some hints and tips to show them off to the best of your ability to get better results in the show ring. This is Gambler's in-hand bridle. Welsh Section Ds traditionally have a lot more brass than some in-hand bridles. As I say, show hunters, show ponies will just have a simple plain bridle. You do want a lead chain that is attached to the bit, and as I say, carry a whip. This is what we call a Welsh cob whip. It does not need to be as posh looking as that. Gambler looks half asleep, but we're going to take him out in the field and show you what to do for an in-hand show. For an in-hand show, you want to be on the left-hand side of your horse. Their manes should fall on the right-hand side. You also do not want to be dragging your horse around a ring like this because it just looks messy. Doesn't create a nice picture if you are showing your horse like this. You want to be showing them more like this. You are at their shoulder. I'm afraid the judge doesn't really want to see you. They want to see your horse. How do we change how the horses trot up in hand? This is vital for horse ownership anyway, because if you need to do a vetting or trot your horse up for the judge, farrier, physio, they also would like to see you trotting them correctly at their shoulder and having them move forward instead of being dragged along. So how can we get them to know how to trot with them, with you at their shoulder? This all starts with teaching your horse to walk everywhere with you at their shoulder. When you bring them in from the field, just get to their shoulder and move them forwards. Even if you need to use the whip to tap them on their bum nicely, a whip is the extension of your hand. It is just to guide them forward, not to beat them, but just to tell them, move forward. I want to be here and have you walking like this. So once you've got them walking next to you, you can then start asking them to trot with you at their shoulder. Again, this can be difficult because the horses don't understand what you're asking. So it is beneficial to have another person that is running behind, shoeing them, essentially. Maybe have the whip. As I say, the whip is an extension of your hand just to guide the horse forward. So it's trotting in hand. You do not want to be dragging them along. It takes time and patience to get them to trot as they should. Once they understand what to do, praise the horse, and it will become just normal knowledge to them to trot with you at their shoulder. As I say, it takes time and patience for the horse to understand this, but that is vital to create a better picture for the judge. As I say, you are showing off your horse. In-hand showing is about showing your horse off. You, as a handler, you're not really being judged. You might be judged on whether you look presentable or not, but they're not fussed on what you look like as you're trotting around. So essentially, they don't want to see you. They just want to see the horse moving, looking like there isn't a handler on the end. Let's go through what will be expected of you on show day, what happens in the in-hand show ring. So your class will be called and you are to come into the ring. You will go on the right rein. All horses will move in the same direction in walk to begin with. The judge will have a good look at you all in the walk first, and then his steward will go to a corner of the ring and make you all wait in line. You will all be asked to stand. She will then, one by one, get you to trot around the side of the ring. Once you've done your trot round, the judge is likely to bring them back to a walk, a halt, and salute the judge now. Just say thank you, and then you are to walk back to the end of the line where you will just wait for everyone to go. Once the judge has seen everyone go round, some judges will pull you in the order that they think you will be placed at the end. This is not definitive answer. Everything can still change. Some judges will just say come in any order. Some judges will pick out who they think will be first, second, third, fourth. So when the judge calls you in, you all come in to the middle of the ring and you just line up. You will then all be asked to come out individually, so then the judge can check your confirmation better, ask questions. How old is the horse? What do you do? And then you will be asked to perform an individual show. What this consists of: standing up for the judge. As I say, he will ask you questions, and then you walk away from your judge in a straight line, turn at the end, turn your horse to the right so they go away from you. Do not be pulling them to you. Turn them away, and you run at your judge. Your judge will be stood watching you come straight at him. Run the judge over. No joke. Go straight at your judge. The judge will move, and they will then get behind your horse quickly so they can watch you trotting away in a straight line. And then again, back to walk, halt, thank your judge, salute, and you get back in the lineup. We go through this now with Lewis and Gambler so you can see what I have just said. We have to pretend a lot here because I've got no other horses. So he's in the lineup. I'm the judge. He's going to pull his horse out now and stand him up for the judge. Welsh Section Ds typically are seen stood square. What that means is if Lewis gets that back leg back, they're square, their 4 feet are in line. Other breeds want to see what I call wonky legs. So make them have wonky legs, Lewis. Get one of the front ones back a bit there, right? This, he needs to put weight in the legs. But this is typically, he won't do it because he's so used to standing square. Welsh ones should be seen square. Other breeds are like that so that the judge can see all 4 legs. That's what they like to see nowadays. But so this, you stood up in front of the judge. They will generally just walk round your horse, have a good look at them. So make sure your horse is used to someone being behind them. Gambler hasn't been shown since last year. So that's something that you have to practice, making sure they're used to someone being behind them, walking around them. They'd usually ask questions. How old is your horse? What have you done with them? Right. And then they will say, if you'd like to walk away and trot back to me, please. And then your judge will get behind you and watch you walk in a straight line. Turn, as I say, turn the horse away from you and they will run straight at me. And the judge, as I say, will get behind your horse and watch them run away. And then trot round the corner. You can trot behind the lineup. And then back to walk, halt and thank your judge and get back in your line. Once you have all done your individual show, the judge will send you out again. So you'll go back out on the right rein, just walking round, where the judge will then decide first place, second place, third. Some judges only place to 6th place and tell the rest to line up in any order. But unaffiliated level, I do find they place you all because these judges at this level are there to help you, give you feedback and guidance. So they like to spend a bit more time with you at this level. So once you're lined up in your order, the judge will then go out and give you your rosettes. This is a time where you can ask, how did I do? How can I improve? What have I got to change? And the judge will give you the time and the feedback answering those questions. So once everyone has got their rosettes, pictures have been taken, you will be asked to do a lap of honour. And what that is where everyone goes off on the right rein, 1st to 6th usually, but again, as I say, unaffiliated level, everyone can go round and you all trot together where everyone's clapping for you. And it's really nice experience. But yeah, everyone gets to do a trot round together and then you leave the ring. It is a good idea to get your horses used to rosettes before you head off to a show. You don't want to come somewhere in your ring where you get a rosette and then your horse is scared of it. It's usually the tail on the rosette blowing in the wind that scares the horses. Some people like to put their rosette on their number string on their waist. Other people put it on the bridle and the horse is not used to something flapping around their eyes. So get your horse used to that before show ring. There is nothing more embarrassing being given a rosette and then your horse spooks at it. I know that feeling when you're in the ring. So how can you get your horse used to a rosette? If you've never actually won a rosette before, make something, put a bit of ribbon on the end, or you can go to the likes of Tesco's nowadays, do like the birthday badges, birthday boy with a bit of tail on the end. Buy one of them just so you can get your horse to experience that before you head to a show. You've done your class, you've done really well, you got 1st place. What happens now? Usually unaffiliated level, at the end of like the morning classes or the end of the afternoon classes, they will have a championship. What that is first and second place from all the classes, say of the morning, will go into a class of its own, the championship class. This does not cost any money to go into. It is open to all first and second places from that morning. And it's just another way to showcase your horse. You do exactly the same as you do in an in-hand class. And this is just where the judge picks a champion and a reserve champion of, say, the morning, which is just their favourite of the day. If you come champion or reserve champion, some shows give you a sash. That is a bit of material round the horse's neck. Again, practice this at home because you do not want that special moment of getting the sash and not being able to put it on your horse. So get them used to having something go over their head, because some sashes are just a complete circle material, so it goes over their head. Some sashes have Velcro openings, so get the horse used to Velcro being torn apart in front of them, because it's scary for a lot of horses. And again, if you've never won a sash, how can you get them used to a sash? Again, get a bit of ribbon and make something. Or, you know, you can go online nowadays and you can get sashes like bride to be or something. Order something like that so you can practice at home, just being able to put this on and off without any drama from the horse. As I say, in-hand showing is all about presenting your horse correctly. Make sure you've got the right tack, the right turnout, you're wearing the right clothes. Get your horse in the best condition that you can before show day. By that, I mean regular grooming. Grooming is so important for horses in general anyway, but it can help with the blood flow to your horse and help them muscle up in, say, like older horses or young horses that aren't exercised. Regular grooming, make sure they're being groomed properly so you get the blood flow. This will also help them to get a shiny coat because, of course, you're bringing the natural oils into the coat, which gives them that shiny look. You also get the shiny coat from feed. Make sure you are feeding your horse correctly. A good quality feed, high in oil, can bring in the shine on their coat. Of course, you can use products on your horse like Dream Coat or something to give them a shiny coat, but there is nothing better than a natural shine that comes from within. So correct feed. Bath them before show day. You can use colour enhancing shampoos. If you've got white socks, use like purple shampoo that really brightens the white of your socks. It is, as I say, all down to preparations. So hoof oil your horse's feet. Make sure before you go in the ring that you dust off your boots. Give them a good clean. Everything is to be clean and tidy and presented well. That will get you really good results in itself by just turning your horse out and making them look as good as you can. But ultimately, remember to have fun. You are showing off your pride and joy to a judge. Not every judge will like you. Remember that. Do not take it to heart if one class you win and another day you lose. It is judges' preference at the end of the day. Just remember to have fun. And then when you leave that show that day, then just prepare for your next show. I think I've covered everything in this video. from how to do an in-hand show to how to present them correctly. If there are other videos that you would like me to go over, then leave them in the comments down below and I can make them for you. But if you like what you see, don't forget to like and subscribe, and I'll see you again soon. Bye.